Right, so let's have a look at David's book. Chosen to go A4. We've already discussed that it would be very good to have photographs in, because there's quite a lack of photographs that you've taken for the various things that you've done. I'm not seeing the clay work that you've done. It'd be very good to have that in there, and compared to your to the music. Okay, so with the addition of photographs that you've taken from using the clay, and also developing your own prop for this group performance we've got coming up, this is going to be fleshed out considerably, this book, because if we were to read it just in terms of the pictures, it would be quite hard to actually follow a narrative through it, which is important. The way a narrative is embedded in your work is really central to making sense of all the marks on this sheet that you've got in the back of your book. It's kind of binds things together, so it's always quite a good indication as to whether you can get what's going on just from looking at the pictures alone. And in fact, some books, some do choose to do visual sections of books where there's actually very little writing. So I think, first of all, that's a kind of first impression. A lot more work needs to be done. I think you're aware of that. You need to be putting in several hours a week. It won't always amount up to the same amount of hours, but it needs to match more or less the number of hours you put in during the day. We've had a look at some example sketchbooks. I think you kind of understand the volume that's required. So it's going to need a big step up, but I think the pictures are going to help massively. And I'd be generous with how you put the pictures in. It might be that you have small, sort of not thumbnails, quite a little bit bigger than thumbnails. You might get 4 on a page with some annotation, something like that, so that you can get a sense of the sequence and also what you think about the sequence. Now, the bits of writing you've done here are the beginnings of starting to say things which are starting to open up questions and so on. Remember that a lot of it is about questioning. So your perspective on the Black Mountain and what you think of it, and your sort of journey through responding to it and reflecting on it is what this is all about, really. So this sort of work you've done here with the writing can expand out, and once you've got pictures and so on, it can actually really turn into quite an extended narrative of your journey through this group piece of work, and how it feels to be in a group or to work as an individual. Again, this mind map here, studying music, it should be really interesting for you to compare, or finding a way that's really interesting to compare the elements of music which are similar to those in the performance art, namely movement and time, and how that matches up to how we're going to work out movement and time in the performance. And I'm thinking, because you were suggesting having actual music that you're going to play, it might be interesting to look at other ways of that people have found of annotating music or annotating dance, or trying to storyboard, if you like, in different ways, a sequence of events which can be performed by one person or performed by a number of others. We're coming up to Christmas, and you're going to need to accelerate what you're documenting considerably. So I'd get on the case with that, and we'll have another look next week.